Hello, Craig from Wealth Minus Wall Street. Today, we're going to teach business owners how they can build wealth from tax overpayments and high business expenses. What we're going to show you is how you can build wealth without any other money coming out of your pocket in order to do this. So a lot of the business owners we talk to, the question comes down to is, where does the additional savings go? For some people, it might be, I want to fund retirement, but I also want to grow my business. I feel like I'm a little bit behind on my college savings plan for my children. So imagine not having to choose. So what we can do is essentially we're taking whatever savings are doing to one, and we're going to create a savings plan for that second or third one. So you don't now have to choose. We have you covered strictly by leveraging the liabilities that are already on the books. So let's talk about our money multiplier. I want to give you a couple examples, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of it. So the first one is one of my clients, Nick, 49. Now, he felt behind in his retirement planning. He was a little bit stressed out. He also was concerned that should something happen to him, he didn't feel like his wife and his children would be adequately taken care of. And based on his business, he was really expanding. So he didn't have a lot of extra savings to satisfy this goal. So we talked to him about the money multiplier, and here's what we found. For him, we were able to show him that he was overpaying in his taxes by $26,000 a year. So that created over $2,000 a month in now cash flow that he didn't have before this. And what he decided to do was take these savings and invest in an asset that gave him everything that he wanted. One, it was $1 million asset that could go to his kids and his wife should anything happen to him. He wanted to be able to access the money just in case he needed to buy another piece of equipment, hire somebody. He didn't want it locked away where he couldn't touch it. And because of that accessibility, he really did not tied into the stock market. He didn't want to have the risk of the market losing 20, 25% right before potentially he needed to access those funds potentially. So this is based on what Nick needed. We solved all of those for him, again, strictly on his tax overpayments. In Nick's case, there were 3 strategies that we took advantage of that he was leaving on the table. Next is Jim, 53. Now, for him, it was strictly taxes. He just felt that he was paying too much in taxes every year. He didn't feel like he was getting a good answer from his CPA in terms of what could we be doing to reduce our tax burden. So we took a look at his situation, and we discovered a $100,000 tax deduction that he qualified for that his CPA didn't talk to him about. Huge, huge numbers. So Jim was making about $500,000 a year, so his taxable base went down to $400,000. So huge tax deduction. And what he did with that was, again, he wanted to solidify his retirement savings, beef up his retirement savings. So he invested $20,000 over 5 years and created an asset that was guaranteed to not lose money. It was guaranteed to provide a lifetime income stream from him, but then also to be able to access it if he felt opportunities for his business, or him in particular was a real estate investor. So again, able to accomplish what he was looking to do simply from the funds that we found. Then Tony, 38, he was more focused on business expenses. He was feeling a little bit overwhelmed trying to manage his day-to-day. He didn't have a central point of contact, and he just wasn't sure if he could be running his business more efficiently. So for him, we took a look at his big expenditures. And what we found is that his instincts were right, and we found a way to package a lot of his accounting services and reduce his costs. So for him, it was payroll, health insurance, merchant service, and bookkeeping. By doing that, we were able to free up about $1,200 a month from him. And then what he did is he repurposed that into a guaranteed retirement asset, but also serving as a way for his family to be protected should something happen to him. So here's the advantages of what we bring to the table with the Business Owner Money Multiplier. So first is simplicity and comprehensive planning. So right now, there's not a lot of cohesion between taxes, business expenses, and retirement planning. They're usually siloed. They're usually siloed between a CPA, a financial advisor, and maybe the HR people or payroll company that you're using. They don't communicate effectively, we found, with one another. So we serve as the role to bring all three of these aspects together to be able to streamline your operations, reduce costs. We're going to make you more time efficient because we can oversee these for you. The strategies that we talk about are exclusive to business owners, not W-2 employees. So this is a really big problem. Help business owners analyze their tax situation and then also their investment strategies for retirement, whether it be a retirement account through your business or saving outside from retirement. Financial advisors and CPAs, they don't specialize in business owners. Most of their clients are W-2 employees, so the strategies are different. And we think that we're really the only end-to-end solution that can cover all this for you and again, put your best interests first. So that really equates to not only the tax planning, but also the investment strategy, retirement planning, financial advisors and retirement planning in general. That system is really geared to profit Wall Street financial advisors before you. So we make sure that stops happening and we put your best interests first. So here's the problem we see with a lot of business owners. You're busy, right? So you are being pulled in a lot of different directions. You're putting out fires. You're doing a lot. So it's really hard for you to have the time to vet potential partners, but potentially also the knowledge and the experience, right? I mean, your expertise is in your business, not overseeing tax planning, retirement planning, and business expenses. So that's a big issue. And then most business owners do not know this is the information you're getting, the advice you're getting from so-called experts. It's not great for business owners. It's really geared more towards W-2. So here's some of the financial impacts that we see. Obviously, this is just to give you an idea. Overpaying taxes by $10,000. So obviously, the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. That number could go up. But what we found is usually there's three or four core strategies that CPAs miss that we can help you take advantage of an immediate tax consequence. The investment fees is huge. So the overpaying by $100,000 or more, and I know that seems outrageous, but we'll show you the numbers. And that's how much you're being overcharged. Working with financial advisors and working with financial institutions with your investment strategies for your retirement plans. And the big problem here is there's no guarantees that you're actually better off doing it this way. So we'll explain why that happens and protect you. And then overpaying business expenses on average by about 28% or more. Again, every situation is different, but that's what we see when we go in and do these audits for our business owner clients. So here's just an idea of that money multiplier effect. So this example would be, what if we saved you $12,000 a year in taxes? That's $1,000 a month that now you can invest in something. So here's the difference in rates, 8, 10, 12% returns, and how that can compound, grow over time. So literally a $12,000 savings from overpayment taxes could make you a millionaire or a multimillionaire. So the CPAs, here's the issues that we see that most business owners, again, aren't aware of. We talked about that most of their clients are employees. They're generalists, not specialists. They're good at preparing taxes, but they're not equipped in specialized tax planning and tapping into tax credits and specialized tax incentives that are out there. They really preach just deferring income into retirement assets as a tax plan. Right, so their job is, hey, we want you to pay as little taxes as you can each year. That's their perceived value, but you're just kind of kicking the can down the road, right? And you're locking your money up, depending on your age, maybe for 20, 30 years. So that whole tax deferral, especially for business owners, we'd like to have a discussion about that because it's not always the best piece. And they're not trained on how to leverage the most tax efficient assets out there, especially real estate. So our solution is we have a network of small business and CPAs, tax attorneys that we work with. So the nice thing about our approach is if you just want our help and keep your CPA, great. If you want help working with a small business CPA, we can make an introduction for you. It's completely up to you. As we mentioned, we usually see about 3 core strategies that most business owners miss. Will help evaluate your eligibility for specialized tax incentives and credits. So we have our own, a separate division that help you identify some pretty significant tax credits that are out there. I'll show you all the tax implications of saving for retirement. This is what CPAs really aren't equipped to do. Just deferring money into a retirement account, we don't really think that's tax planning, and it actually could not be in your best interest depending on your situation. And discuss more tax efficient assets. And real estate is really the key there. If you look at why the wealthiest folks invest a lot in real estate, it's for return, it's for passive income, it's for all that stuff too. But it also means really, really good tax deductions, where a lot of the income you can generate is really tax free. So now let's get into the issue with advisors when it comes to their input in retirement planning and saving for retirement. We talked again about the employees. They only focus on the investments that they sell. This is a key point because they preach asset allocation, diversification, but you really aren't diversified. They're diversified in what Wall Street sells, and that's a big distinction. So there's a lot of other ways that you can build wealth that financial advisors don't typically want you to know about because they make less money if you do that. They're also always trying to get you to diversify out of your best asset, which is you. If you're running your business efficiently and successfully, on average, you're going to beat the returns of the stock market. And oh, by the way, you have control over that business where you don't over the stock market. We'll go through what we think are strategies for business owners who are in that growth phase. They put their self-interest ahead of your best interest. Doesn't make them bad people. It's just the fact that the way they charge whether you make money or not. You lose 25%, you pay them. You don't beat the market, you pay them. It's just not in your best interest. When you really pull back the curtain, a lot of the advice negatively impacts your wealth creation, and it's also not the best income strategy in retirement. So we go in more in depth when we talk to you in person on that. So here's what our solution looks like. We want you to understand the pitfalls of traditional retirement planning, and we have a 2.0 version. We'll help you understand the pitfalls of Wall Street, why it is rigged, and more importantly, how to unrig it. Well, put a customized plan in place that aligns with your interests and goals. That's very important. Financial advisors say that they customize, but they don't. Everything's really better. Strategies to benefit your most profitable asset, which is you. We'll show you ways to protect you and your business, and evaluate all retirement savings options. Like I said, you're only getting one piece of the puzzle. We'll make sure you have some other really good wealth building tools that I use. So here's the core expenses that we help business owners look at. Health insurance obviously is a big one. Your payroll, your merchant services, bookkeeping, utilities, digital marketing, advertising, telecom, waste management, small package shipping, courier, and property taxes. So if you have other expenses that you want us to analyze, I'm sure based on our network, we can get an audit out there for you. But this is really the core that we see for most businesses. Obviously, depending on your business, some expenses are higher than others, but this is what we will provide in our money multiplier program for you. So here's the playbook. If you're starting your business, we think you should be reinvesting your money back into your business, right? There's more predictability of income there and more control. So we think that's where you start. As your business is growing a little bit faster, now you can start looking at ways to create other savings vehicles, other income streams. So what we want to look at, tax deferred, tax free, understand that's distinction. Some tax deferred is good, but tax free is really good. And when you're growing, we want these assets to be safe. We don't want them potentially losing 25, 30, 40%. We want them to be accessible, which you don't get inside of retirement plans. And then as your business is even growing faster, now we move and say, okay, let's talk about some assets that can provide passive income, because that's really the key to a successful retirement, It's passive income, right? Income creates financial freedom. And not only that, but you're starting to make a lot more money. Your tax burden is going up. So we want to show you how to create really good tax deductions as well. So the confidence really that you're maximizing your cash flow, that your business is running more efficiently, and not only your business, but your savings, whether just personal retirement, we want to create a bridge there so they're all working together. And that will provide you peace of mind. And that single point of contact. You're busy. If you have issues with taxes, retirement plans, your payroll, sometimes that's 3 different phone calls. With us, it can be one. And you tell us what you need, and we go do it on your own. So I just want to give a quick overview. If you'd like more in depth about what we do, how we do it, feel free to give me a call. We do a free 30-minute strategy session with you to learn more about what are some of the headaches in your business or retirement planning right now, and ways that we can solve them by leveraging our Business Owner Money Multiplier. So we hope you found this information useful, and we will talk to you soon.